Hello, मेरे प्यारे प्यारे दोस्तों. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. This is Akriti and I hope y'all are doing well. It's a beautiful winter day. The year is about to end. So I'm making this video where I'm going to tell you the things that 2025 taught me. This year wasn't particularly really nice for me, to say the least. It was awful, at least the first half of it. And I believe it is the worst and the most difficult things in life that end up teaching you the best lessons. And that was the case. A lot of these bad things happened with me. And as a result, I was taught a lot of these lessons by life, that is a teacher. And I think it's beautiful. The older you grow, the more life teaches you. So it's like a constant lesson that you keep learning, because every day as you're going through life, you don't feel that anything much has changed. But then by the end of the year, when you look back to the starting of the year, you feel like there's a drastic change. And I believe that's not the case with everyone, like materialistically, or you may be at the same position in life. But then I believe that we constantly evolve as people. Like within you, you are not the same. You probably stopped talking to some people, you probably made new friends, your choices might have changed. So a lot of those things, I for one had a lot of changes in my personality, like at my core. So there are a few things that I'd like to share with you. I learned them the harder way, but I would like to share these with you. So stay tuned. The first and the most important lesson that 2025 taught me is it is better to be alone than to be with people who make you feel alone. So there were certain friendships and relationships in my life that were not serving me. I knew that. I had a lot of doubts regarding them, but the only thing that was holding me back was the fear of being left alone. The fear that what if I never find somebody who loves me like them again? What if I never find friendship again? What if I never find love again? But my therapist told me a really beautiful thing, and I'll tell that to you, that fear should never be the foundation of a relationship. If the only thing holding you to a person is the fear that you'll lose them, the fear that you'll never find someone like them again, then that is sign enough to let them go. Just because you're very lonely, you cannot be with someone who does not love you like you deserve to be loved. And let me tell you something, if there is somebody in your life that you're not really sure of, it could be a friend, it could be a partner, a cousin, whoever, and there are these constant doubts about them, but you still cannot let them go because of this fear that you'll be left alone. I believe the reason that we cannot let go of these people is because there's this unhealed part within most of us that did not get the love they deserved as a child, or that was not given the attention that they deserved. And now that they're getting these breadcrumbs from someone, they get dependent on them emotionally, and they cannot let them go. कि जो भी मिल रहा है उसको पकड़े रहो, don't let it go, because what if this person goes, then nobody's ever going to love me again, even though वो बहुत कम है जो तुम्हें चाहिए. That is not enough. You feel like that love will suffice because you were not even given that. That's heartbreaking, but it's important for you to acknowledge that that's happening, and that little thing is not what you deserve. You deserve the world, and you deserve someone who's willing to give you that world. So there could be two scenarios. The number one scenario is you are with someone who makes you feel lonely even though you are with them. So you're constantly left questioning, you're doubting yourself, you're asking questions like, what's wrong with me? Am I not worthy of love? Am I doing something wrong? Did I hurt them in some way? And there are no answers to these questions because they can never meet you where you are. So yeah, that is the daily scenario, but you can still not let them go because again, you don't want to be left alone. At least you have someone right now. If they go, there wouldn't be anyone. And the second scenario is, even though it is really hard and it's heartbreaking, you step back and you let them go, you walk away. Now you're obviously left alone. You don't have anyone in your life, but you also don't have these constant questions. You also don't have these regular doubts. You don't question the fact that you deserve to be loved or not. You'll slowly, it is a long process. You'll slowly make peace with it, but it's worth it. Trust me, it's worth it. It's better than being with someone who constantly makes you question your own worth. And eventually, when you let them go, there's going to be a space that is created in your life. And then that space will be filled with people who actually value your presence in their life and do not take you for granted. I've talked about this whole space thing in this video right here, so you can watch it. So if there's a relationship in your life and you have constant doubts about it, but you're not letting them go, because you fear being left alone lonely. It's very important that you overcome that fear and let that person go. I swear to God, it will be a good thing and not a bad thing. And you'll only realize that when some time passes. So it's a gradual process. You may be heartbroken at the beginning of it, but eventually it will make sense. Okay, the second lesson is you have to be okay being cringe or making a fool of yourself. Why I say this is because a lot of us have this fear that other people are going to judge us, what other people are going to say when they look at our content, look at us wearing something, look at us doing something in life. There's always this invisible audience that's present, that's stopping us from doing things that we truly want to do. And it's very important that you close your eyes to this audience and do things for your own happiness and for love for yourself. So, up until August of this year, I had stopped posting on Instagram for a long time. And the major reason was that I was viewing myself from other people's lenses and thinking of what they would think when they view my content. There has been a huge shift in my mindset because now my content should just appeal to me. I see the video, and if I think this is funny enough, this is nice enough, I post it. I don't care what any other person think because this validation comes from within. I have stopped seeking validation in numbers or from people. And this doesn't only apply to the online world, but also in your offline world. Suppose you're wearing something and you really like it, but then you step out and somebody says you're not looking pretty and it instantly turns your mood off. It's very important that you remind yourself that no, I looked at the mirror and I thought I looked pretty. So I am looking pretty. We have to learn that not everyone is going to like us. There is always going to be someone who does not like the way you talk, does not like the way you dress, does not like you as a person. And it's very important to understand that their opinions don't really matter. The one and only person you should seek validation from is yourself. क्योंकि जितने अच्छे से तुम खुद को जानते हो, अपनी फीलिंग्स को, अपने स्ट्रगल्स को, तुम्हारा माइंडसेट क्या है, तुम्हारी फीलिंग्स क्या है, उतने अच्छे से दूसरा कोई भी इंसान इस दुनिया में नहीं जानता. नॉट योर पेरेंट्स, नॉट योर पार्टनर, नॉट योर बेस्ट फ्रेंड, no one. So when you learn, and again it's a gradual process, when you learn to be okay with making a fool of yourself in front of people, because when you start something new, it could be a startup, it could be content creation, it could be just opening a new small business, there are going to be people who are going to judge you for it, who are going to make fun, who are going to demotivate you. It's very important that you close your ears and you listen to what's coming from here, from within. I would take a little time to share a small incident that this reminds me of. So I was in class ninth or 10th, I think, and there was a teacher who made me stand in front of the whole class and they told me that I will never be able to achieve anything in life and I'm not worthy of anything. And because I did not have a very high self esteem at that time, I went back home, I shut myself in the bathroom, and I cried for hours because I believed his words. And also because I was a child. But now I have grown as a person. My belief in myself has strengthened to the point where if somebody points me out and says things that are very harsh or things that are heartbreaking, I would obviously feel bad because I'm human. But I wouldn't let those words define me. What I think of myself defines me. And that has been a huge, huge shift in my thinking, and it has helped me a lot. So if you're someone who's easily affected by what other people think of you, it's important to practice self love. It's important to sit down with yourself and ask yourself, how do I feel about myself? Where do I lack? What do I think are my strengths and my weaknesses? And only that, and that defines you. Nobody else's opinion, nobody else's comments, nothing. The third lesson is moving your body is the best gift that you can give to yourself. So, like I said earlier this year, I was struggling a lot mentally. I did not have good days. Most of my days were spent crying, and I would just restrict myself and not talk to people, all of that. And I was not moving at all. So I would lie down at my bed for hours. I was sleeping a lot. I wasn't going out. And then suddenly I just felt like I have to go out and breathe in the outside air. I was in Delhi, but still, that time the pollution wasn't this bad. For a few days, I made this a routine to go out for a walk in the evenings. And that changed how I felt. That changed my entire mood. It was lifted. I was happier. I was feeling more energetic. So whenever I would go out, there was this park. It wasn't a very aesthetic park. There were puddles of water and it was pretty bad. But a dog would come for walking with their owner, and some kids would be playing badminton. There would be old people. There was also a temple in the park, so there would be old people chanting prayers and all of that. And it did a few things, right? So it made me indirectly meet and see a lot of people. It made me connect with nature, which is obviously always good for your mental health, and it gave my body what it needed, that is movement. So I don't know if you've noticed this, but when we don't move our body a lot, there's this negative emotion that's entrapped. And when we move or dance, it could be any form of physical activity. It could be just walking down the stairs, it could be doing yoga, whatever. There's this flow state that happens, and obviously your endorphins, happy hormones are released, and that lifts your mood. So if you're feeling sad, if you're feeling stuck, if you want more ideas, it's very important that you move your body, and it's one of the best things that you'll do for yourself. I also started gymming a few months back, and even though I do not go every day, I go like 3 to 4 days a week, but that has changed my mood so much. Like, I'm happier, I have something to look forward to. And like, obviously, getting up and taking myself to the gym is still a task, but once I am there, I automatically feel happy, and that is a good thing. And I'm not saying you have to join the gym to feel better. You can just sit on your bed and like move your arms, move your legs. There's some form of yoga that you can do on your bed, like there's yin yoga, and it's so relaxing. You can definitely try that out. The fourth lesson is never ignore your gut feeling. I swear to God, every time I've ignored what I'm feeling here, like, in your body, in your chest, and I ignore that feeling, I have been in a huge, huge trouble. And I'm like, why did I not listen to myself? So if there's a tiny voice in your head that's constantly saying, this doesn't sound good, this doesn't look right to me, please listen to that voice. Because अगर तुम उस बात को सुन लेते हो तो तुम्हारा सिर्फ अच्छा ही होगा, बट अगर नहीं सुनते हो तो imagine the consequences. So I'll narrate a small incident that happened with me to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. It was a very rainy day. I was in Delhi, and I was living in Lakshmi Nagar. तो वहाँ पर पानी पूरा भर जाता था, यमुना बैंक का पानी ओवरफ्लो होके, and कोई भी ऑटो वाला जाने को तैयार नहीं हो रहा था. I had my end sem exam, so I had to go. So there was this auto वाले भैया who got ready to go, and I was really thankful, and he didn't even charge a lot of money, so that was good. And then I sat, and he's like constantly talking to me, right? I'm trying to study, but he's constantly talking. And I've talked about it in a previous video that I struggle with saying no to people and setting up my boundaries. I'm working on it, but like, it's still difficult. So मैं उसको reply किए जा रही हूँ, even though I'm like, he's obviously distracting me from studying. And then his tone kind of shifts, and he's talking about very personal things like आपका नाम क्या है, and आप कौन सा course कर रहे हो. And even though these questions in themselves weren't really indecent, but still I was not feeling like there was this ick that I was feeling, but I couldn't really pinpoint what was wrong. But I was like, I don't know, this man doesn't really give me good vibes. And then, so there's like a rasta where I would like use to go to my college, but उसने किसी और रास्ते से ले लिया, and it was like पानी भरा हुआ है, and obviously पानी भरा हुआ था उस दिन बहुत ज्यादा, तो I again ignored that. And it was a very silent वाला road, like वहाँ पे कोई भी लोग नहीं थे, बहुत खाली खाली सा था, and I had never gone college through that route, but I still ignored that. And even though मेरा मन में वो चल रहा था constantly कि this doesn't seem right. So then उसी रास्ते पे he turns back and he's like, आप हाथ मिलाओगे मुझसे? और मेरी उस टाइम पे फट गई because पूरा रोड खाली, and I got scared, and I'm just like, क्यों भैया? And he's like, नहीं नहीं, ऐसे ही आपका एग्जाम है ना, इसलिए all the best बोलना है. And I just ignored it. I don't know exactly what I did, but I just like made a face, and I'm like, nahi nahi bhaiya, theek hai. So that particular incident kind of proved that what I was feeling was right, and he was actually not a decent guy, because why would you ask me to like shake hands with you? And thankfully nothing more happened. But had I listened to my gut, I would have like gotten down, because I had put myself in a scary situation. So this is just a very small incident, but a lot of these things happen in our daily life where we tend to ignore these feelings because we feel like I would believe my judgment more and not my gut, like my mind. It's very important that you choose your gut. तो अगर मैंने इस feeling को सुन लिया होता तो I would have gotten down. But because I chose not to listen to it, I could have landed myself in trouble. That is what I'm trying to tell you. अधिकतर ये जो gut feeling होती है वो नेगेटिव चीजों के लिए होती है, तो अगर हम उस बात को मान ले तो हमारा ज्यादा फायदा है, बट अगर हम ना माने तो हम बहुत ज्यादा ट्रबल में पड़ सकते हैं. Have you heard of that saying that says energy never lies? I'm a big believer of that. I don't know. I believe there's something that just tells us that this doesn't feel good, and we keep ignoring it and ignoring it, and in the end, it just proves out to be true. So this year particularly, I had a lot of negative gut feelings about a lot of people, but I kept ignoring कि मेरे को ऐसे ही लग रहा होगा, मैं overthink कर रही हूँ. I don't think that's really the case because my mind would constantly say the opposite. But then some things happened that proved everything to be true. And I was like, oh my God, I should have believed what I was feeling all along and not really disregarded my own feelings. इसी चीज के ऊपर एक बुक भी है that's called Blink by Malcolm Gladwell. And इस बुक के बारे में इसी चीज के बारे में बात किया गया है, दैट इज द पावर ऑफ थिंकिंग विदाउट थिंकिंग. कि कभी कभी कुछ ऐसा होता है ना कि हमने तुरंत उस चीज को देखा ना, हमें कोई फीलिंग आई, बट हम इग्नोर कर देते कि नहीं यार ऐसा थोड़ी होगा, इस बारे में बैठ के सोचो. बट कई बार जो वो पहला थॉट होता है ना, वो बिल्कुल सही होता है. तो इस बुक में वही लिखा हुआ है कि हमेशा वो जो पहला थॉट होता है वो गलत नहीं होता है, एंड हाउ वी शुड स्टार्ट टू बिलीव दैट गट फीलिंग मोर. Okay, so the last lesson this year taught me is that the only way forward is through. If you have a problem in life, if you have negative emotions, if you are dealing with a heartbreak, you cannot skip the grief part. You have to feel all the emotions that that feeling brings up. If you have to heal completely, you have to feel the depths of all emotions. You can scream, you can howl, you can cry, you can journal, you can do whatever it takes to let those emotions out, but you cannot keep them entrapped and heal at the same time. You have to feel them in order to be at the end of the spectrum. You cannot deal with emotions as annoying kids कि तू जा यहाँ से, बैठ जा, मेरे को तेरे से बात नहीं करनी है, मैं अभी तेरे से डील नहीं कर सकती, because they're going to come back and then it's going to affect you more. So embrace them fully. They demand to be felt. अगर ऐसा कोई annoying बच्चा जो कि it could be sadness, it could be jealousy, frustration, जो भी आ रहा है उसे आने दो, उसे हग करो, थप्पड़ मारो, उसके साथ डील करो, बट उसको इग्नोर नहीं कर सकते, बिकॉज इफ वी कीप इग्नोरिंग दोज इमोशंस वी आर नेवर गोइंग टू फुली फील देम, and if we don't fully feel them, we're not going to heal. The only way forward is through. So this year I had a lot of difficult days, and in the beginning what I was doing is I was suppressing these negative emotions and trying to gaslight myself into thinking that I'm happy, but that wasn't the case. I knew it, like again that gut feeling wala thing. So later on in the year, I let myself fully cry, fully be sad. And now that I've felt those emotions, I'm finally at a place where I am not sad. I don't agree with people who say कि मत सोचो उस बारे में, भूल जाओ ना. Because जितना ही try कर लो, it's going to stay in your mind because you've not actually dealt with it. आई बिलीव कि अगर हम खुशी वाले इमोशंस, जॉय, हैप्पीनेस, एक्साइटमेंट, इसको पूरी तरह से फील करते हैं, पूरी तरह से उन इमोशंस में रिवेल करते हैं, तो व्हाई डोंट वी फील द सैड इमोशंस? व्हाई आर वी सो क्विक टू रिजेक्ट दीज इमोशंस? ये भी तो हमारे ही पार्ट है ना, हमारे ही हिस्सा है. तो दोनों को इक्वल ट्रीटमेंट दो. एंड आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि तुम किसी चीज के बारे में सोचोगे तो वो पूरी तरह से वो चीज ठीक ही हो जाएगी, ऐसे तो फिर सारा इंसान का ट्रॉमा ही सॉल्व हो जाए. बट व्हाट हैपेंस इज कि जब आप डिफिकल्ट चीजों के साथ खुद अकेले शांति में बैठते हो, उनके बारे में सोचते हो, जर्नल करते हो, तो you force yourself to develop mental tools to deal with those feelings. And I believe just like in life, it is actually the negative emotions, the harder things, the harder feelings that teach us about ourselves. बिकॉज मैंने जितना दुख में या जितना डिफिकल्ट टाइम्स में अपने बारे में जाना है, उतना खुशी के मोमेंट्स में नहीं जाना, बिकॉज देन आई एक्चुअली हैव टू क्वेश्चन अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स अबाउट माई पर्सनैलिटी, अबाउट माई चाइल्डहुड, and only then can you grow as a person and actually sit with the difficult parts of you and try to heal them slowly. So with that, we come to the end of the video. I hope you liked the video. I hope you had a little something to learn from it. I would love to know how your year 2025 was and what are some lessons that this year taught you. We can have a discussion in the comment section. I would love to engage with you all. And lastly, I would like to say that no matter how your year was, no matter how many failures you had, this does not define you. It's only a timeline. Probably you have really good things waiting for you. So have faith, don't lose faith. And even though it might feel like everything is going wrong and probably you'll never heal, that is not the case. Everything passes and better things do come. So, yes, with that note, I wish you all a happy December, happy end of the year, with a hope of a really happy new year for all of us. So, yes, bye bye, take care, love you.